or most of the people in there, were people who had done things like, for example, they'd accessed the internet at home rather than through an ISIS-controlled internet cafe. Or they had phoned up a relative who had gone to live in Turkey, who'd run away from Raqqa and was living in a refugee camp or a city in Turkey. They'd phoned them up, and that was their crime. And because they'd spoken to somebody outside of ISIS territory, they were considered to be spies who were probably sending, important information without any proof at all. And anybody who disagreed in any way, anybody who expressed any kind of public opposition to ISIS, men of religion who didn't who didn't pledge allegiance to ISIS, who didn't accept their version of Islam, were considered to be political enemies, and they were put in this place. And it was a detention center. It was a torture. Very similar to what the Assad regime did. Remember that ISIS learnt from the Baathist system, because so many high-up people in ISIS had been security officers in the Saddam Hussein regime in Iraq in the past. So many of them had been through the prison systems of Assad or Saddam Hussein or Shia militias in Iraq or the Americans in Iraq. They'd experienced all kinds of maltreatment and torture, and they'd learnt from it, and they wanted to do the same thing. They, like the Baathist regimes, they ruled by fear. So it was important that people outside the prison be terrified of what was happening inside the prison.